I walked into the bedroom and froze, my husband and my own sister. But what my daughter did next shocked even me. She didn't cry or scream. She made a decision that turned the entire family upside down and forced the truth into the light. The moment that shattered everything. Truth doesn't knock, it breaks in. When everything looks perfect, but isn't. Let me tell you something. The most dangerous lies are the ones you live in every single day without questioning them. Everything looks fine. The house is quiet, the routine feels normal. People smile, talk, eat together. From the outside, it all looks like a perfect picture. But here's the truth. Just because something looks calm doesn't mean it is safe. Think about it. How many times have you ignored that small voice inside you? That feeling that something isn't right? You push it away because it's uncomfortable. Because facing it might change everything. Comfort is powerful. It wraps around you like a blanket. It tells you, stay here. Don't ask questions. Don't dig deeper. But comfort can also blind you. It hides the cracks forming right under your feet. He ignored the changes around him. The same in relationships, the same in trust. How many red flags are you ignoring right now just because it feels easier to stay comfortable? Because the truth is this, what you ignore today doesn't disappear. And when that day comes, it doesn't knock, it breaks in. That changes everything. Before that second, you are one person, after it. It happens fast, no warning, no preparation. Just truth raw, sharp, and impossible to ignore. Let me tell you something. Betrayal doesn't just hurt your heart, it changes the way you think. The way you see people, the way you trust. It rewires your mind. A woman once trusted her closest friend for years. Shared everything, laughed together, supported each other. In that moment, it wasn't just the friendship that broke. That's what betrayal does. It creates a collision inside you. Love on one side, shock on the other. And you're standing right in the middle, trying to understand how both can exist at the same time. How can someone you trusted do this? How can something that felt so real turn out to be false? Your mind races. Your heart feels heavy. Nothing makes sense. And in that moment, denial dies. You can't go back to not knowing. You can't pretend anymore. The truth is right in front of you, staring you in the face. So what do? Do you break down? Do you run? Do you pretend it didn't happen? Or do you face it? Because here's the truth. Once you see reality, you can't unsee it. That second, it doesn't just change your situation, it changes you. And then comes the silence. And at the same time, nothing. Your body is there, but your mind is frozen. Your heart is racing, but your voice is quiet. The moment where you don't know what to do next. Do you speak? Do you stay silent? Do you walk away? Do you confront? Inside your chest, there's a battle, a constant pull. One side says, stay quiet. Don't make it worse. Keep the peace. The other side says, speak up. Say something. This isn't right. And you stand there. A young man once found out his business partner had been cheating him for years. He knew the truth. Why? Because he was afraid of losing everything. It slowly destroyed him from the inside. The question is, which cost are you willing to pay? The first break, when trust collapses from within. Trust is not just a word, it's the foundation of everything. But here's the truth. Everything built carefully over time. But if the foundation cracks, the whole house becomes unstable. It doesn't matter how beautiful it looks from the outside. One action, one truth revealed. A father once broke his promise to his child, but that moment stayed with that child for years, not because of what was lost, but because of what was broken, trust. So let me ask you, if the foundation is broken, what are you still standing on? Are you holding on to something that no longer exists? Are you trying to fix something that has already collapsed? Because here's the reality, once trust is broken, things don't go back to the way they were. You can rebuild. And the sooner you accept that, Betrayal cuts deeper when it comes from blood, when the ones you trust most break you first. Let me tell you something. Betrayal from a stranger hurts, but betrayal from your own people cuts deeper than anything else, because it's not just one loss. It's two. In one moment, love breaks, trust breaks, and the very people you thought would protect you become the reason you feel unsafe. Two betrayals, one moment. And suddenly, everything you believed in starts falling apart. It's not just about what happened, it's about who did it. A person once said, I could have handled the truth, but I never expected it from them. And that's the real pain. Not the act itself, but the face behind it. You start replaying memories, smiles, conversations, moments that once felt real, and now, or the person who chose to tell it. It changes how you see loyalty forever. The questions that won't let you sleep. After the shock fades, something else takes its place. Questions, endless questions. Your mind becomes loud, restless. It doesn't let you sit still. It doesn't let you breathe in peace. You start asking yourself things you never asked before. Every memory you once held close, your mind turns against you. It replays moments. It creates doubt. Were the signs always there? Because sometimes the hardest truth to accept is this: we saw something was wrong. When trust breaks, it changes how you see the world. Once trust is broken, it doesn't stay in one place. It spreads. You start questioning people who have done nothing wrong. Why? Because one betrayal teaches you a dangerous lesson: people are not always who they say they are. A woman once said, after that day, I stopped believing in words. I only believed in actions, and even then. And suddenly, your whole world feels different. You walk into conversations with doubt. You hear kindness with suspicion. If they could do it, who can you truly trust now? Because trust, once broken, doesn't just damage relationships. Pain is a weapon. Will it destroy you or build you? Now listen carefully, because this is where everything changes. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is a tool. But like any tool, it depends on how you use it. It can break you. A man who lost everything in business once said that his lowest moment taught him more than all his successful years combined. It forced him to rebuild, smarter and stronger. That's what pain can do. It can open your eyes. It can make you stronger. It can push you to become someone you never thought you could be, but only if you let it. This moment, right now, is a turning point. You can let it destroy your trust, your peace, your future, or you can take that pain and turn it into strength. So ask yourself, will you let this break you? Or will you rise from it stronger than before? Because the choice you make here will define everything that comes next. The unexpected strength, when the weakest becomes the strongest. The voice no one expected to rise. Sometimes strength doesn't come from the loudest person in the room. It comes from the one no one was watching, the one who stayed quiet, the one who observed, the one who waited, and then something shifts. Because there comes a moment when silence becomes too heavy, when staying quiet feels worse than speaking up. And in that moment, the unexpected happens. The quietest person finds their voice. It only takes one voice to change everything. One person who says, this is not right. One person who refuses to ignore the truth. And suddenly, the entire room feels different. A young student once stood up in class when everyone else stayed silent during a moment of unfair treatment. No one expected it, but that one voice changed how everyone saw the situation. That's how power shifts, not through noise, but through courage. So think about it. What happens when the person everyone overlooked becomes the one who speaks the truth? Everything changes. When truth is clearer to the ones who don't fear it, truth is simple. It's not complicated. It doesn't need long explanations. But fear makes things complicated. Fear makes people justify wrong actions. It makes them create stories. It makes them hide behind confusion. But someone who is not afraid, they see things clearly. Children are like that. They don't twist right and wrong. They don't overthink. They see what is in front of them and they call it what it is. Wrong is wrong. Right is right. A child once pointed out unfair behavior in a room full of adults who stayed silent, not because the adults didn't see it, but because they were afraid to say it. So let me ask you, are you making things complicated just to avoid the truth? Are you overthinking something that is already clear? Because sometimes clarity is not the problem. Courage is. Real courage has nothing to do with age. People think courage comes with time, that you need experience, that you need years, that you need the right moment. But that's not true. Courage comes from clarity. When you see the truth clearly, action becomes easier. Hesitation only lies where there is fear. A young athlete once stood up to a coach who was treating the team unfairly. Others stayed silent. Not because they didn't agree, but because they were afraid. That one person wasn't the oldest, wasn't the most experienced, but they were the clearest. They knew what was right, and they acted on it. So let me ask you, why are you waiting? If you already know the truth, what are you waiting for? Because courage doesn't come later. It shows up the moment you decide to stop being afraid. The moment silence breaks and power shifts forever. There is a moment in every situation when silence can no longer survive, when the truth becomes too loud to ignore, and all it takes is one voice, one sentence, one stand, one moment of courage, and suddenly everything shifts. The room feels different. The energy changes. People who were quiet start thinking, start feeling, start seeing, because truth has power. When spoken out loud, it breaks walls, it shakes comfort, it forces people to face reality. A workplace once stayed silent while wrong actions continued for months. Then one person spoke up, just one, and that single moment led others to speak as well. That's how change begins. So ask yourself, what happens when silence is no longer an option? What happens when you finally say what needs to be said? Because once the truth is spoken, there's no going back, and that moment changes everything. Accountability, the one thing people fear most. Why people run from the truth instead of owning it. Let me tell you something. People don't run from the truth because it's hard. They run from it because it exposes them. Facing the truth means facing yourself, your choices, your actions, your mistakes, and that's uncomfortable. So what do? They hide. They deny. They shift blame. Not because they are strong, but because they are afraid. A man once kept lying about small things, nothing big at first. But over time, those small lies built a life he couldn't control. And when the truth came out, it wasn't just the lies that hurt. It was the fact that he never faced them when he had the chance. So ask yourself, what are you avoiding right now? And more importantly, why? Because the longer you run from the truth, the stronger it becomes. The longer you avoid it, the worse it gets. Here's a simple truth. Problems don't disappear when you ignore them. They grow. What starts small becomes big. What feels manageable becomes overwhelming. Delay doesn't fix anything. Ignore it and it spreads. Over time, weakens the entire structure. A person once ignored a simple health issue because it didn't seem serious. When will you face what you already know is there? Because time doesn't solve problems, action does. The real meaning of consequences, facing yourself. People think consequences are about punishment. They're not. The real consequence is being forced to face yourself, to sit with what you've done, to accept it, to understand it, and that is the hardest part. But you can't hide from yourself forever. A person once said, the hardest conversation I ever had was the one I had with myself. That's the truth. So ask yourself, not who you want others to see, but who you really are. Because that's where real change begins. Respect cannot be forced, it must be earned. Respect doesn't come from power, it comes from truth, from honesty, from doing what is right even when it's hard. A leader once ruled with fear. People followed his orders, but they never respected him. Respect lasts, so let me ask you, are you trying to force respect? Or are you living in a way that earns it? Because in the end, and that is what defines you, the reflection you've been avoiding. Let me tell you something. The hardest truth you will ever face is not about other people. It's about you. It's easy to point fingers, easy to say, they did this, they caused that. And maybe they did. Maybe they really did hurt you. Growth begins the moment you look in the mirror and stay there. No distractions, no running. A man once went through a painful breakup and spent months blaming the other person. He told everyone the same story. But one day, he sat alone and asked himself a different question. What did I ignore? What did I allow? When was the last time you faced yourself without excuses? Not for 5 seconds, not with half-truths. And until you face that reflection, when your excuses finally stop saving you, at first, excuses feel like protection. They make you feel safe. I didn't know. I had no choice. But here's the truth. Every excuse has a limit. At some point, it stops working. There's nowhere left to hide. A person once kept delaying an important decision in life, always saying, I'll handle it later. Days turned into months, months turned into years. And one day, the situation got so bad that it forced a decision. That's what happens when you wait too long. The truth doesn't disappear. It waits. So ask yourself, how long can you keep running before it stops protecting you? Because one day, you won't have a choice anymore. One day, you will be forced to face it. And when that moment comes, the question that matters is this: are you ready? The questions that demand real answers, but grow louder at night. Who are you when no one is watching? What kind of example are you leaving behind? Not through your words, but through your actions. They learn from what you do, and that truth applies to everyone. Your actions are always speaking, even when you're silent. So stop for a moment and answer it. Answer it honestly. No filters, no lies. But you cannot lie to yourself forever. And the answers you avoid today, growth hurts, but staying the same hurts more. Let's be real, growth is not easy. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to let go of old habits, old beliefs, old versions of yourself. That's why most people avoid it. They choose comfort instead. But comfort has a hidden cost. It keeps you stuck, living the same problems again and again. A man once stayed in a situation that was clearly not right for him. Not because he was happy, but because he was comfortable. It forces you to grow, so yes, growth hurts. But staying the same hurts more. So ask yourself, will you choose temporary comfort and long-term regret? Or will you face discomfort now and build a better future? Because the path you choose today, one choice can destroy more than you see. Every action you take has a reach beyond what you can see. It affects others in ways you may never fully understand. One decision. For him, it was a moment. They touch people around you, family, friends, even those who are just watching quietly. So let me ask you, the invisible wounds people carry for years, not all wounds are visible. Some don't quiet, deep, unseen. Trust once broken doesn't just disappear. It leaves behind doubt, fear, distance. A person who was once open becomes guarded. A person who once trusted easily starts questioning everything. And the world may never see it, but it's there. But there's a part of me that never healed. That's the reality of emotional wounds. How many people are carrying pain because of something that happened? Because once damage is done, it doesn't just fade away. breaking the pattern before it repeats again. Patterns don't stop on their own, they repeat again and again, unless someone decides to break them. A family once went through generations of the same problems: broken trust, poor decisions, silence, and that decision changed everything. Because breaking a cycle is not easy, it requires strength, awareness, courage. It means choosing differently, even when it feels uncomfortable. So let me ask you, if you don't break the pattern, the same results, the same pain, the same outcomes. But the moment you choose differently, everything begins to change. Consequences don't forget, they wait. You can ignore the truth, because consequences don't forget. They wait. They wait quietly until the right moment. A person once ignored a serious mistake, hoping it would go away. For a while, nothing happened. Life felt normal. So ask yourself, will you face it now while you still can? Or will you wait until it becomes harder to handle? Rebuilding or walking away, the choice that defines you. Not every door should be reopened. Let me tell you something, but they are not the same. You can forgive someone and still choose distance. You can let go of anger. They are protection. Until one day they realized the problem wasn't the situation. It was their decision to keep reopening the same door. So ask yourself, are you holding on to something that is already broken? Because sometimes strength is not in fixing, it's in letting go. Healing starts the moment you choose yourself. Healing doesn't begin when others change. It begins when you do. The moment you decide, I matter too, that's where it starts. Letting go is not weakness. It's self-respect. A woman once spent years trying to fix someone else, trying to make things right, but the day she chose herself, everything shifted. Are you truly healing? Or are you just holding on to something that keeps hurting you? Because real healing requires one decision: choosing yourself. Staying or leaving both require strength. People think walking away is the hardest choice, but here's the difference. One is driven by clarity, the other is driven by fear. A man once stayed in a situation because he was afraid of being alone, not because he was happy, not because it was right, just fear. And that fear kept him stuck for years. So let me ask you, are you staying because it's right? Or because you're afraid of what happens if you leave? Because clarity moves you forward. Fear keeps you in place. Self-respect changes everything at the end of the day. Everything comes back to one thing: how you see yourself. Because the way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. If you accept less, you will receive less. If you tolerate disrespect, it will continue. A person once decided, I will no longer accept what hurts me. And from that day, their life began to shift. Not because the world changed, but because they did. So ask yourself, the moment you truly respect yourself, what will you no longer tolerate? Because that answer will define your future, the final truth. What this story is really about, let me tell you something. This was never just about betrayal. It was never just about one moment, one mistake, or one painful truth. This is about the choices you make when life puts you in a difficult position. This is about who you become when everything comfortable falls apart. They reflect something deeper. They show you what happens when people stay silent. They show you what happens when truth is ignored. And they show you what happens when someone finally decides to stand up. Truth shapes you, courage defines you, and the way you respond determines your path. And that's exactly what moments like these do. They test you, so look closely. Not at the situation, but at yourself. What does this reveal about you? Because in the end, it's not about what happened. The standard you accept becomes your reality. Here's a truth most people ignore: what you allow becomes your life. Not overnight, not instantly, but slowly, step by step, it builds your reality. If you accept lies, you will live in confusion. If you accept disrespect, it will become normal. If you stay silent when something is wrong, you are teaching people that it's okay to treat you that way. A worker once kept accepting unfair treatment at his job. He stayed quiet, thinking it would get better. That's how life works. People learn how to treat you by what you tolerate. Respect is not optional. Honesty is not optional. They are the base of everything that lasts. So ask yourself, are you setting a strong standard? Or are you allowing things that slowly break you? Because what you accept today will shape your tomorrow. The question that will follow you forever, there is one thing you cannot avoid in life. Your moment, it may not look the same. It may not come the same way, but it will come. A moment where you are tested. A moment where you have to decide. A moment where staying silent feels easier, but speaking up feels right. And in that moment, you won't be able to hide. Because the choice you make will define you more than the situation itself. A person once stayed silent when they should have spoken. That moment stayed with them for years. Not because of what happened, but because of what they didn't do. That's the weight of these moments. So ask yourself now, will you look away or will you stand up and face the truth? Your answer will define your life.